Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joey, and I am a full-time work-from-home stay-at-home mama and the person that's gonna help you become the main character in your own life. Today, we're gonna be discussing the steps that you can take if you would like to change your life in 6 months. A lot of you might be staring down the barrel of this idea of change, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm unhappy with the way that my life is, but the idea of making any kind of change feels super daunting. You coming up? We're gonna have a visitor for this video. Guys, this is Campbell. So if that's you, if you're looking at this idea of change, or you're looking at your entire life thinking, I'm never gonna be able to make this happen, and certainly not in 6 months, this video is for you. Because changing your life isn't actually that difficult at all. In fact, it's kind of alarming how easy it is to change your life. I had this thought years ago when that show Orange is the New Black came out, because if you don't know, that show was based on like a real situation, obviously then embellished, where a woman made one tiny decision and it literally changed the entire trajectory of her life. And I'm sure if you think about it, you've known somebody or you've experienced it yourself, where you can think back to one tiny decision, one tiny moment, and realize that was a catalyst for monumental change. And sometimes that change is for the best, and sometimes that change is not so great. But either way, it's all a domino effect, right? Every decision we make, every choice we make, everything we do compounds. And so if we use that power for good, just imagine the change that you can impact on your life in 6 months. You could come back to this video in 6 months and leave me a comment being like, oh my God, girl, I had no idea, but now I know, and I'm never going back. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to do in order to change your life in the next 6 months is build habits. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's awesome, but I have no idea what action I even need to be taking. That looks and will look different for every person, but the very first step is going to be the same. The very first thing you need to do is make a list of all of the areas of your life that you would like to see be different. That could be from the fact that you're eating out every night, and maybe that's impacting your wallet and it's impacting your waistline. Or maybe it's that you wish that you spent more time reading, or whatever those things are, right? Like, just literally brain dump everything that you want to see change in your life. Don't get too finicky about it. Don't think too much about it. Just take a pen and a piece of paper and just brain dump everything. Once you got that down on a piece of paper, start to think about the things that you could implement, the action that you could implement into your life. It doesn't have to be huge. And think about implementing that tiny action into your life on a repeated basis. And that's the key point here, is whatever action that you decide is important to take in order to establish that type of change in your life, do it repeatedly. That's how habits are formed. I think they say that it takes 28 days to form a habit. And that's the other key part here, is discipline. I'm sorry, you can't do this. Can you sit down or get down? Getting down is good too, that's an option. Oh, cool, my whole pants are full of cat hair and I have to go to a meeting in 20 minutes. It's fine. Lint rollers exist for a reason. So discipline is doing something when you don't want to do it. And I'm going to be honest with you, there are going to be moments when you're first starting out, it's all exciting and it's fun and you're motivated. That's great. That goes away. It may not stay away, it might come and go. However, the thing that can't come and go is your determination to do it, and that's where discipline comes in. You have to be disciplined. You have to remember that you want it enough to do it even when you don't feel like it. Okay, the next thing to implement to see big change in 6 months is you want to pick one skill, one thing that you would like to see yourself improve, and focus all of your energy into that one thing. Now, I realize that might sound daunting because you might have so many avenues in which you want to travel down, and that's awesome, and I'm excited for you to go down every one of those paths. And you will get a time to go down each and every one of those paths, but you can't go down all of them at the same time. So if you have many things that you want to be focusing on, again, write them all down. If you don't know, that's going to be very powerful to you in so many avenues of your life. Write everything down, decide which one you want to focus on first, and funnel all of your energy into improving that one thing. Learn everything you can about it, practice it as much as you can, implement it and introduce it into your everyday life. It can be something huge, it could be something tiny. The tiny change that I made in my life many, many years ago is back, I think it was like 2012. So we're talking a long time ago. We had just moved. I wasn't working full-time anymore. And obviously that meant our finances were slightly different, but I was living a very online life with blogging and things like that. And I was seeing everybody going and getting their nails done all the time. I loved nail polish so much, and I loved cute manicures, but there was no way I was gonna be able to spend $45, $50 on my nails every 2 weeks. And I'm one of those people that if my nails grow even slightly over like my skin area, I have to clip them because I can't stand the click clack. Click clack, click clack, click clack, can't do it, can't do it. So I decided that I was going to become very good at doing my own nails. There was one problem with that, I was very bad. I was very bad at doing my own nails. I mean, embarrassingly bad. Just looked like a toddler had done them. So I focused all of my energy on becoming good at that one thing. Was that important? In the grand scheme of life, no, not at all. Was it important in my life? Yes, because it made me feel good. It was something to focus on. It actually is the piece of the puzzle that made my blog go viral because I was sharing my manicures on my blog just because it was something I enjoyed doing and I was proud of documenting my process and progress on that. And so yeah, it ended up being important in my life, but that wasn't why I did it. I did it because I wanted to, and it was one thing that I was like, this is something that I can focus on and teach myself. And now to this day, 11 years later, I am still very good at doing my own nails. I do not recall the last time I went into a salon and had my fingernails done. So if that tells you anything, and I don't even think it took 6 months, I think it probably took 6 weeks for me to get really good at doing my nails because I was basically doing them every other day because I made it such a focus to practice and practice and practice. So pick one thing, focus all your energy on it, and then when you feel like you've gotten to a good place at that, go to the next thing. Okay, this one's annoying. I know it's annoying and you're gonna be like, Joey, I don't want to. You have to. You have to. And it isn't even for physical reasons as far as like what your body looks like. You gotta move your body. You've gotta make the commitment to move your body. And whether you have fitness goals or not, the moving your body is so important just even for your mental clarity and your mental state. Now, I'm a very anxious person. I tend to overthink things. I often feel like the world is closing in on me, and moving my body, and I'm talking even just a walk around the block, has become such a habit in my life that when I don't do it, I feel it. I feel it in every part of my soul. I feel it in every part of my body. I feel it in every part of my well-being. If I take too many days off at a time, there's a physical response to those things. And so that right there should tell you how important it is to make the commitment to move your body. Now, it doesn't have to be hours and hours in the gym. It doesn't have to be any kind of strenuous activity. Find a way that you enjoy moving your body and make the commitment to do that several times a week. It doesn't have to be every day. Maybe you like jumping rope. Maybe you like those walking exercise videos from Grow with Joe. Have one on in the background while you're watching your favorite TV show. Get a treadmill. Go for a bike ride. Go on a walk with a friend. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but do make the commitment to move your body anywhere from like 3 to 5 times a week. I promise it will have such a monumental impact on your life, and I can't even explain why it is. And it will be physical. It will be, regardless of whether that's your goal or not, it will be a physical change, but it will also be a mental change. And it's a mental change you can't get. It's a mental change you cannot accomplish with anything else. Okay, the next thing you need to do in order to change your life in the next 6 months is you need to make the commitment to protect your peace. Now, a lot of times protecting your peace can look like not protecting your peace at first, because it's going to have you making a lot of decisions and choices and setting boundaries that are really, really uncomfortable to make. They may even be painful to make. Protecting your peace will look like cutting cutting out relationships, whether those be platonic or romantic. If you know that a relationship is unhealthy for you in any way, shape, form, or capacity, and you are beyond the state of being able to repair that relationship for whatever reason, you have to move on from it. You have to. It's holding you back, and you've made the decision that you want to change your life. You have to let go of the things that are holding you back. And a lot of times it is relationships, it's friendships, it's toxic relationships with family members, it's toxic romantic relationships. We hold on to things, we white knuckle onto things because we're so afraid and so against feeling that feeling of discomfort that we're essentially committing ourselves to feel that discomfort all the time because we're not willing to accept the pain that's going to come from making that decision, even though that pain will eventually turn into peace. Protecting your peace will look like setting really strict boundaries for yourself and for the people in your life. And you might be sitting here thinking, okay, all that sounds well and good, Joey, but I wouldn't even know where to start. And that's okay, because a lot of times, most of us, most people in general, we don't really take the time to get to know ourselves the way that we would spend getting to know somebody else, right? I know that sounds crazy. You're like, girl, I spend every moment of my entire life with myself. I know myself. No, you don't. You think you know yourself, but have you ever really taken the time to truly get to know yourself, know the ins and outs, everything you think and feel right now in this current moment, not what you thought and felt 10 years ago, not how you felt when you were growing up, not how you felt when you were in a relationship that sucked the joy right out of your life. I'm talking about right here, right now, in this moment. Do you know yourself? And if you don't, if you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way I can protect my peace because I don't even know what brings me peace, don't worry. Stick around to the end of this video. There will be a free guide to help you make those steps. There'll be a free guide that will help you through that process of establishing what it is that you need and want in order to maintain peace in your life. Okay, the next thing that you'll want to do in order to see change in your life in the next 6 months is you'll want to make the commitment to read. And you might be thinking, girl, I ain't got time for that. And that's okay. You don't have to actually physically read a book. You can read a book through an audiobook. You can read a book by watching someone read it on YouTube. There are so many different ways to ingest content these days that it doesn't have to be physically taking the time to sit down and read words on a page. I would recommend that because there is something beneficial to slowing down and actually consuming the content the way that it was designed. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with listening to an audiobook. Most people would sit here and tell you that if you're gonna make the commitment to read nonfiction books on a subject that you wanna learn everything there is to know about, or subjects that can help you improve your life. And yes, those things are important. I would encourage you to sprinkle a few of those into your reading. If that's something you feel like doing, don't force yourself to do something you don't want to do. I mean, if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to stick to it. It's just going to be this cycle of like making yourself feel bad for making yourself think you have to do something that you don't want to do. And then you do it because you feel like you have to do it and you don't enjoy it. And this cycle continues. Don't do that to yourself. Just don't do that to yourself. You're never going to see change by doing that to yourself. But I would argue that even just making the commitment to read out of pure enjoyment, out of pure pleasure, will actually shift your life in a way that you don't even understand how it's happened, because reading becomes like a keystone habit. And basically what I mean by that is a lot of times in order to read, even if it's listening to an audiobook, a lot of times that revolves around some type of routine. And if it's something that you find that you enjoy doing, which I'm pretty sure you're going to find that you enjoy doing it, whether it is listening to an audiobook or it's sitting down and actually physically reading a book, and it could be anything, it could be smut, I don't care. It's something that you enjoy. Making the time to introduce that into your day and protecting the space to allow yourself to enjoy that, a lot of times that revolves around a routine and it becomes this keystone moment in your day that everything kind of fills in around, and it's a domino effect. It's like making your bed every day. If you make the choice to sit down and read a book for 15 minutes, then the next choice you make is going to be on the same path and same frequency as that one choice. And so you'll find that you're making better and healthier choices, or choices that are going to protect your peace. They're choices that are going to implement joy into your life, more so than if you didn't have that keystone habit. So just make the commitment to read a book. I don't care how you consume it. Make a commitment to read a book once a month, once every quarter, whatever that looks like for you. But if you introduce the habit of reading into your life, I promise you, you will see change in the next 6 months. Okay, the final thing that you need to do in order to see huge change in your life in the next 6 months, and I mean you will radically change your life in the next 6 months. You will not recognize yourself. The next thing that you need to introduce is just being consistent. Once you've gone through every step of the guide that you will be able to get in the digital download below, you will have every tool and every decision at your disposal to be able to sit down and really design how you want to spend your days, what habits you want to introduce into your life, what action you want to introduce into your life, what things you want to cut out of your life, what boundaries you want to set, all of those things. And once you have that guide in front of you, the only thing standing between you and having the life that you've dreamed of this change in your life, is being consistent. That's all you have to do, is be consistent. Be disciplined. Do it when you don't feel like it. Do it when it's raining. Do it when you're tired. Do it when you're mad. Do it when you're sad. Do it when you're happy. Do it when you're excited. Do it when you're motivated. Do it when you're not so motivated. Do it when you're having a bad hair day. Do it when you feel bloated. Just be consistent. I promise you, if you just remain consistent in these goals that you have, if you remain consistent in this action that you've laid out in front of you to change your life, you will change your life. Your life will look different. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's nothing you can do to make it not look different at that point. If you've made the commitment, you've made the decision, you are remaining consistent, doing something over and over and over again, positive or negative, will change your life. It will. So that's all you have to do, is just be consistent. Go down to the comments below and let me know what it is that you'd like to see changed in your life in the next 6 months. Use this as a benchmark that you can come back to in 6 months and tell me whether or not you actually accomplished that change. While you're down there, take a look at the pinned comment. There is a free digital download there for you that will guide you through this entire process. And I'm so excited to see what type of change you introduce into your life in the next 6 months. Thank you guys so much for being here. Like I said, this is a big goal of mine, getting this YouTube channel up and running. So the fact that you're here and supporting me means so much to me, and I'm having so much fun doing it. So thank you for allowing me the space to do that. If you interact with this video at all, I would really appreciate it. And hang out, stick around, subscribe, like, comment, do all the things. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye.